Col Romil Barthwal. Thank you so much, sir, first of all, for coming and taking time out. And it's my pleasure to host you.
Thank you so much, Shashank.
So you have had a illustrious career with the Indian Army. You have been a mountaineer and you have done marathons, you have done full marathons, you have done La Ultra, you have done Boston Marathon, and you have so much energy at, I would say, with the age, people की energy down जाती है, आपकी energy up जा रही है. What's the secret?
See, secret in my case is that, I've been very lucky. That's for sure. God has been very, very kind. So that's one thing I've realized, that has to be there. Apart from that, till 34, see, whatever you have said, be it La Ultra, be it marathons, be it everything, it has all started after 34. Till 34, I was pretty okay. So that's why anybody who's listening and he's in 20s or less than 34, there's a lot of scope if you want to get into it. So that is one thing. But then at 34, I realized, that if you try doing something, you're able to do it. Like a clear example was once I was in NDA, I was 3rd division in graduation.
Okay.
3.47 का CGPA था बहुत मेहनत करने के बाद. So I regretted. मैंने कहा यार क्या हुआ? And then there was a time wherein this opportunity came up going masters from IIT Kharagpur.
Yeah.
जब वो आया तो मेरे को लगा यार अप्लाई करें ना करें with the 3rd division how do you apply? Can't tell it to anyone because everybody feel यार कि 2nd division तो आ नहीं पाई. But then I applied and then I got through and then that gave me that push in life which meant that मेहनत करोगे तो result मिल जाएगा. And that was precisely the thing.
That's right. I mean, मेहनत करोगे तो result तो मिलेगा ही. You have passed out from NDA. You have passed out from IMA. Then you did graduation from IIT. And then near retirement, you did graduation from management course from IIM Lucknow.
Right.
तो सारे premier institution तो आपने cover कर दिए. You have done, you have excelled physically in physical sports and you have passed out from these great institutions. तो दोनों का balance कैसे बना रहे हो आप? मतलब आप पढ़ाई भी कर, मतलब जनरली लोगों का अगर मैं स्पोर्ट्स कर रहा हूँ तो पढ़ाई पे मेरा उतना फोकस नहीं रहता.
Right.
And if let's say I'm in more into academic and studies and all, so sports is on backseat.
Correct.
But you are managing both. How come?
See, it's not that managing, it's been happening it that way.
Okay.
So, one classic example is these days I coach a lot of leadership in corporates.
Yeah.
So I tell them that, you should plan well and, things happen well. In my case, it's not that I planned everything like that. That's why I say God has been kind that one after the other opportunities came and just luck would have it, I could capitalize on those.
Right.
I was prepared in physical aspects so that I could handle the challenges. And then it's just that एक चीज आई उसके बाद for example we'll talk about triathlons or half Ironman.
Yeah.
So I was training for marathons. If you're running, then one set of muscles they get utilized. So for training the supporting muscles, you do cross training.
Yeah.
Cross training you do cycling. Now since I was doing running, I was doing cycling. So I said let's do a duathlon. So duathlon में participate कर लिया.
Okay.
Then you're doing these two things. I said let's try a triathlon as well. So swimming start कर लिया. Swimming again is a good recovery.
Yeah.
So it's just that things happened that way, and then I excelled in those things. So that's why the interest was alive.
Right. So basically, what you are saying is luck is when opportunity meets a prepared mind.
Yeah, that's a subtle way of saying the right thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, but whenever I meet someone who is a mountaineer and does this long endurance sports,
Right.
Because personally I have done that course at Hawes, high altitude warfare wala. So each day was a struggle. सुबह से शाम तक ये रगड़ा और मतलब it is pain.
Right.
So this is my prime question to somebody who's into endurance sports and who is doing my mountaineering, who is climbing all these feats. Why?
See, you did from Hawes. Hawes, they don't train you mountaineering. They train you warfare in mountains. Which is, at a different level altogether.
Yeah.
That's why they say, call it commandos or something. This is much more than something like that.
Right.
What we did was out of pure passion and interest.
Okay.
Like running. In academy, very less people want to run.
Obviously.
We've been in training academies,
Yeah.
right? Nobody wants to run. But then if it is coming from your own, the whole perspective changes.
Right.
So that was the reason. Everything for me was because there was a lot of fun element which was involved. I was enjoying what I was doing. Horseman, you don't enjoy what you do.
Obviously. You're not supposed to.
Exactly. They don't let you enjoy, So that's where the difference comes. That अगर अंदर से कोई चीज आ रही है तो उसका अलग ही फील होगा.
तो मतलब पैशन अंदर से वो एंजॉयमेंट प्रोसेस में होना चाहिए.
Yes.
That's why you do one after the other. कि आज अभी ये इनिशियली मैं छोटे माउंटेन्स क्लाइंब करूंगा, then ultimately Everest, right? So step by step you take forward. Correct.
So a lot of people they ask me, कैसे रन करें, क्या टेक्निक होनी चाहिए, क्या जूते लें, क्या. So my aspect is that first and foremost you should enjoy your run.
Okay.
बाकी उसके क्या खाना है, क्या पीना है, कितने बजे उठना है, कितना रन करना है, everything comes secondary. If you're not enjoying, then you are only with numbers कि आज इतना किलोमीटर भागना है, आज इतना भागना है. That doesn't come.
It becomes a pain कि भाई ये मतलब बर्डन लगने लगेगा कि मैं इतना करना है. Because especially when we were in academy, तो वहाँ पे हमारे जैसे मैं OT में था तो वो 40 km जो मेन रन बैक वो करना होता है.
Right.
वो उससे पहले आपका कैंप हुआ होता है वहाँ, तो आपको अलग बजाया होता है.
Correct.
सोए नहीं, खाया नहीं ढंग से. And then you have to run back 40 kilometers with your backpack, 26 kg weight and weapon and everything. But उसमें वो एलिमेंट होता है कि मुझे एज अ कंपनी, क्योंकि मैं अगर पीछे रहेगा तो मेरी कंपनी हारेगी. एंड वो एक टीम स्पिरिट और वो रहती है कि और यू पुल अदर्स ऑल्सो कि भाई जैसे मैं किसी का वेपन लेके भाग सकता हूँ या टू पीपल विल टेक अ रक्सैक सो दैट द पर्सन हु इज लेफ्ट बिहाइंड कैन कम कवर अप. तो वो टीम स्पिरिट एक मोटिवेशन रहता है कि मुझे अपनी कंपनी को पीछे नहीं आने देना और सबको क्लोज इन करना है, तभी आपका पूरा टाइम काउंट.
बिल्कुल.
बट पीपल हु डू मैराथन्स, इट्स एन इंडिविजुअल स्पोर्ट. तो उसमें अंदर क्या मतलब यू प्लान अहेड, डू यू डू सम सॉर्ट ऑफ मोटिवेशनल एक्सरसाइज या अंदर से पहले से यू प्रिपेयर योरसेल्फ बिकॉज इट्स गोइंग टू बी अ लॉन्ग रन. एनी स्प्रिंट तो है नहीं या शॉर्ट किलोमीटर रन नहीं है. डू यू डू सम प्लानिंग अहेड कि कैसे?
So there's a lot of planning and preparation which goes behind a endurance sport.
Okay.
Be it half marathon, full marathon, whatever. So उसमें क्या रहता है, the feeling of that endorphin rush which is there makes you do it again and again.
Okay.
And if you're doing something, then obviously human nature is there, might as well do it well. तो इसलिए you prepare well, you hire coaches, you hire training plans, nutritionist, everything. So as कि अगर आप कुछ काम कर रहे हैं, investing so much of your time, might as well make the most out of it. So that is the motivation out of it.
I think मतलब that's a positive way of seeing the glass half full कि भाई जब करना ही है तो फिर
अच्छा ही करें.
Academy में भी वो रहती है कि जब आपको रगड़ा मिल रहा है तो might as well enjoy it.
बिल्कुल.
So that the other person who is giving you that punishment की सोचे ये कैसा बंदा
छोड़ देते हैं,
ढीठ बंदा है, इसको तो कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा तो छोड़ देते हैं. That's great way to think actually. तो तभी it is possible I think because these are मतलब out of the ordinary, not everyone is made for it. You have done that La Ultra Marathon. Can you tell our listeners about it? What is it and how it goes about?
So La Ultra is one of the toughest races. Why is it tough? Not because the distance. It has various distances. 111
kilometers.
222, 333.
Okay.
Those many kilometers you run. But the challenge is not just the distance, it's the location.
Okay.
Like it starts from Sumur, which is close to Siachen Valley axis pe.
Leh Ladakh area, general area.
And you have to cross that Khardungla Pass, which is considered to be the highest motorable road in the world.
Yeah.
So uska instance I'll tell you. So I was running and La Ultra, you don't have thousands of people like in marathons. Like Boston Marathon, you'll have 30,000 people. La Ultra में you'll have 15, 20, 30, maximum 50. 111 किलोमीटर के स्पैन में you have 30 people. So you don't have anyone, आगे पीछे कोई नहीं भाग रहा. शुरू के 4-5 kilometers you'll find people. You'll not find anyone after that. So I remember I was closing towards Khardungla, which is between 60 to 70 kilometers. Pitch dark at night, 2-3 बज रहे हैं, आगे पीछे कुछ नहीं पता क्या चल रहा है. And that is the time you question yourself.
क्यों मैं आया यहाँ पे?
कि इतना दूर आ रहे हैं, इतनी बुरी कंडीशंस में, ठंड पड़ रही है, बर्फ पड़ रही है, and then why do you need to do? But then this comes in your mind every time you do a endurance वाला challenge, be it horse or anything. तो जब ये फीलिंग आती है ना, यू फील गुड कि हाँ यार चलो वो फील आ गई जिसका इंतजार था. सो दैट काइंड ऑफ फीलिंग मींस यू आर स्टिल सेन. आप सोच रहे हैं मतलब ना, यू आर नॉट स्विच्ड ऑफ.
बट समवेयर मतलब व्हाट आई रिमेंबर फ्रॉम माय एक्सपीरियंस, शुरुआत में यू आर फुल ऑफ एनर्जी, गाने वाने गाओगे, मतलब सारा थोड़ा वो चलेगा. थोड़े टाइम के बाद धीरे धीरे जब वो बैटरी डाउन होने लगती है, यू स्टार्ट फीलिंग कि हाँ नहीं अब पता चल रहा है कि कुछ हो रहा है. एंड एक टाइम ऐसा आता है, देन यू आर जस्ट स्टेपिंग, मतलब एक पैर एक आगे आप रख के बस चलते जा रहे हो. यू आर नॉट अवेयर, मतलब दैट्स अ स्विच ऑफ स्टेट.
बिल्कुल.
डू यू गेट दैट?
Everybody gets it. That's very common. You have to get that state. Then only you will be able to finish that, 10-15 hours वाला endurance. Otherwise, if you are always focusing, उसमें सोचते ही रहेंगे कुछ ना कुछ, तो फिर तो you have to get switched off at some point of time, and then it becomes they're like a machine. अपने आप ही चल रहे हैं.
But that way, human body is amazing. मतलब आप उसको toughest से toughest condition, and mostly it is our thinking of limit.
Exactly.
मैं मतलब जैसे हम पहले गए तो जब सोचते थे कि अरे 40 किलोमीटर ऐसा थोड़ी होता, कुछ कम होता होगा, ऐसे डरा रहे हैं. बट व्हेन यू गेट एक्चुअली वंस यू डू इट कि अच्छा ये हो सकता है, ऐसा नहीं है. तो दैट वे यू गेट दैट रश कि मतलब अगर मैंने पहले मैंने हाफ मैराथन किया, फुल मैराथन किया, अब मैं अल्ट्रा मैराथन भी कर चुका हूँ, तो वो यू आर इवॉल्विंग योर बॉडी, यू आर पुशिंग योर लिमिट्स, एंड डे बाय डे यू आर इम्प्रूविंग.
एग्जैक्टली. सो इट्स लाइक if you are like a child, evolution is there. First the baby born starts tilting, then crawling, then walking, then running. So it's once you do walking, you'll not crawl. Once you do a half marathon, तो मुझे लगेगा यार next target कुछ होना चाहिए. That's what life is all about.
And in fact, I mean, I am seeing now epitome of a mountaineer is to climb Mount Everest, right? And you have done that. और अभी लोग जो हैं मतलब अब उन्होंने वो कर लिया, तो now they are looking for next challenge. तो now some people are trying, मतलब what I have heard कि बिना ऑक्सीजन के करेंगे, बिना शेरपा के करेंगे. So there's no limit कि मतलब
very true
कि अब ऐसा करने के बाद भी मैं अब उसमें और चैलेंज कैसे बढ़ाऊं.
Very true. So this thing happened with me after I did Boston Marathon, because a thing like Boston Marathon, in your life everything has to revolve around that, then only you are able to qualify. And the moment you do it, then there's a vacuum in life. यार अब क्या पिछले 3 सालों से खाना पीना वेकेशन प्लान हो रही है, सुबह शाम का शेड्यूल उसी पे चल रहा है, आज इतना भागना है, कल वो करना है. तो the moment it gets over ना, you feel that vacuum कि यार अब क्या करेंगे लाइफ में, कुछ है नहीं करने को. But then I've realized in life there are plenty of targets. कुछ ना कुछ मिल ही जाता है. That's what happens in life. That's what keeps us moving. कि नया target, there are no end to targets. Bucket list what we call. That's always right.
I mean, धीरे धीरे छोटे टारगेट्स करते जाओ एंड वो कॉन्फिडेंस भी आते जाता है कि अब मैंने ये कर लिया तो आगे मेरे लिए ये बिगर टारगेट लुक स्मॉलर.
यस.
एंड वन थिंग आई हैव सीन, एंड स्पेशली व्हेन आई टॉक टू पीपल अबाउट यू आल्सो, द foremost thing that say that Romil sir is very humble, and that humbleness, and I have seen in other mountaineers also कि उसका कुछ ये पीछे रीजन है क्या. अब मतलब इतना बड़ा पहाड़, उस पे मैं चढ़ के आया और वहां जाके पता चलता है मैं तो चींटी भी नहीं हूँ उसके सामने. तो उससे कुछ that effect comes.
Once you see one thing, humbleness is related to forge as well. You do so many things, and the kind of places you are. At times you'll have 10 कमरे का घर. At times you'll have one kitchen, one room. उसी में सब कुछ हो रहा है.
Or at times you'll not have anything, just space to sleep.
Exactly. Yeah. So one is forge, and one is of course mountains. Once you see कि like I remember again, I'll quote an instance. जब मैंने first time Everest देखा था, we were going for climbing Everest with the team, and there's this place ahead of Namche. Namche is a place which comes जहाँ से Everest दिखता है. वहाँ से जब देखा ना, and we were shocked. मेरे को लगा यार, how on earth was I thinking कि I'll climb such a mountain? That is the magnitude of mountain from that place. So. But then still you able to do it. So, which means कि करना है तो धीरे धीरे एक स्टेप पे फोकस करना है, करते रहना है. That's where the humbleness also.
That's right.
I hope stays in.
It is there. And so how is your process? मतलब let's say you set a target कि मुझे ये ultra marathon या maybe I want to climb Mount Everest. So how do you plan? And you led a team to Mount Everest. So that again there's a component of leadership and team management is also involved. So what is the planning that goes behind for such a summit or a
Right. So that's a great question. In my case, if I have to do something, I make sure कि अपनी तरफ से I'm fully confident कि जब मैं तैयारी कर सकता हूँ मैंने कर लिया. Which meant कि my first step was to interact with those people who had done Everest earlier.
Okay.
And there are a lot of people in army.
Obviously.
So I called them up, चाहे जानता हूँ नहीं जानता, I gave them कि I have to do this, and since we have to do, might as well do it nicely. So I am connecting with you.
Yeah.
Many people whom I had no idea, they really helped me a lot. कि अच्छा Romil, do this, ये वाला mountain पहले climb करो, prepare like this pre-monsoon, ये वाली climb करो. So there was a lot of assistance in Forge, and they were guiding कि अच्छा ठीक है, this army का नाम involved है तो should be well.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of help from there. Then these days we understand, there's a lot of literature on the internet.
Obviously.
What was the reasons of failure of this expedition? What went wrong, and all those things. There was a lot of homework which was done.
Learn from failures of others so that
Yes,
you don't
repeat
the mistakes.
And then a lot of success stories. कि what worked for other people,
Okay.
how it should you should pan it out. तो वो सारा homework करने के बाद then you select a good team.
Okay.
So that's again, team is army is all about teamwork.
Yeah.
And mountaineering again, I feel that's why I feel कि at times I'm still continuing the Forge because that kind of adrenaline rush which is there in Forge, the kind of work we do in Forge, the next closest is mountaineering.
Yeah.
Be it the risk involved, be it the leadership kind of thing which is involved, and the trust bonding. Because if you're climbing a mountain and your buddy is not able to, you're not able to trust him or her, then it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Forge में same होता है. You're going for patrolling, कभी RR में है, कभी कहीं है, तो it's all about trust and bonding.
Right.
So same things we carry on Forge as well.
What about the physical training or mental aspects? Do you plan ahead for that also?
Yeah, so if your target is focusing towards high endurance, so you have to prepare it that way, which is for sure going to happen. So you plan a lot of physical training, what kind of training is involved. Again, you search the internet, speak to experts.
Okay.
Ki what kind of training worked for you, how it should be, what are the lessons learned from your mistakes or drawbacks. So all those you make a roadmap and then you plan ki acha, this should be my next target, this should be a medium term target, this is a long term target for preparation for something like that.
And what about the mental aspect? I know because your background is from army, so army training also, or like we say in academic, it's all mental.
Exactly.
Yeah, so do you, consciously do some trainings to increase your mental well-being or mental training? And while selecting your team also, do you judge them on that aspect?
Yeah. So, frankly, if we're talking only about Everest, I think most of the Forgies can do it.
Okay.
Fitness-wise, mental-wise and all. It's just that one is opportunity. And second is, you have to see that these people already have these qualities. जो फौज में है उसमें leadership things are there. That's why he's leading a patrol to a fighting या ambush में कहीं है. So that leadership things automatically comes. So उनमें से फिर then you have to select the best. So army team if you're leading it becomes very easy.
Yeah.
Because these aspects are already covered.
That's right.
And we know कि यार if Shashank is there with me, if anything goes wrong with me or him, summit बाद में देखेंगे.
Yeah.
Because हमने एक दूसरे को वापस तो यूनिट में जाना है.
Self before,
टीम का
team before self.
Yeah.
Right.
So that chatword motto आपको याद भी ना रहे, but then at the back of mind,
you are
always there.
Naturally inclined to follow. That training and the atmosphere that is there, so हमेशा ही रहता है.
बिल्कुल. And the one you said, it's all mental.
Yeah.
बार-बार सुनते हैं, but समझते तभी हैं once we do such things.
सब करते हैं. Because I was really weak in running and वो मेरे लिए तो BPT was a challenge. Doing it in stipulated time. Long running, distance running was all okay for me.
Right.
But later on, I realized there were some shortcomings in my physical body and all. But वो अगर आप mentally आप इतने strong बन जाओ किसी तरह कि मेरे को चाहे कुछ भी हो जाए, जैसे मेरा aim ये था कि मुझे अपने course mates के साथ पास होना है. I don't want to be relegated and then repeat the whole process, right, which is again going to be very painful. तो मुझे वो पास करना है, चाहे मेरी body allow कर रही है नहीं कर रही, पर मुझे पास करना है. तो that mental is always, training is more important than any sort of physical training. And within your army career also, मतलब लोग शुरुआत में ही जाके अपना वो willingness to join para and all, But you did quite late. You
Yeah.
joined to become a paratrooper quite late. How did that happen?
So it was not planned that way,
Okay.
I initially opted, but then यूनिट में परमिशन नहीं मिला. सेकंड टाइम अगेन आई ऑप्टेड, किसी ने कमांड में रोक लिया, मतलब ना. So those things, not that I
people don't want to let go of a good officer. That is there.
Good bad पता नहीं, but then they didn't want to leave.
रहता है.
So that was the reason I tried twice, thrice, and then frankly I didn't have the credentials to do that.
Okay.
I was not good in running. पढ़ाई में थर्ड डिवीजन में निकल रहा था, तो किस बेसिस पे सेलेक्ट करते हैं, मतलब ना. So there was no reason for them to select. But then once things was falling in place, चाहे Boston Marathon हुआ, चाहे training the army team for ultra marathon हुआ, या adventure cup में I was leading and training the team. So if things are in favor, तो उसके बाद they realize, army also realize कि okay, let's give that opportunity.
Give him a chance, and then you excelled in that as well.
Yeah.
So मतलब वही है कि आप अपने कर्म करते रहो.
Exactly.
एंड जो आपका ड्यू मिल ही जाएगा.
मिल जाता है.
आज नहीं तो कल बड़े ही थोड़ा टाइम लगे. एंड
वेरी ट्रू.
राइट. And how was the experience like a paratrooper? It was more challenging than your earlier activities?
Definitely it was. Okay. It was an eye opener. Okay. We all hear so many things about it. And it was my dream, At times, if people compare between Everest and jumping out of an aircraft, I would say, still jumping out of an aircraft is more rush. And because that was my thing initially. So it was a great experience. It was only, I realized that after that, getting back to normal life would be difficult. So that's why I said, let me put up my papers and move out. So that was one of the primary reasons.
And after moving out, you have not left your passion and you are continuing. Tell us about your company, Boots and Crampons.
Yeah, so I left because I wanted to pursue, adventure and these kind of things. So that was the primary reason I thought I should step out. And Boots and Crampons came at the right time because I met this company once I was climbing Everest, and then we clicked well. Okay. And I realized, this is one thing which I wanted to do in life, because I realized at 43, 44, and you join a corporate, then your fitness and all is going to be obviously at the backseat because the way corporates are. So I realized, this was next best I could do after leaving the army. And it's like, after leaving the army, it's very difficult to have that kind of life. Right. We all understand that. Those in the army, they've felt it. So अगर आपको वही standard maintain करना है अपनी life का, not monetary at all. It's all about fitness, about mindset. So might as well, do something which will give you some element of Fauji life. And this was the next best, for sure.
So, what do you do? I mean, within the company, I read that you had a very interesting title, Chief Climbing Officer. So what is your role and how does the company function?
So, we are two partners.
Okay.
Me and my partner Bharat. Okay. So, both of us are very passionate about mountaineering, climbing, serious climbs. And we do climbs like Everest and a thing called 7 Summits, which is, all the continents, the highest peaks in all. Like we have done Kilimanjaro, which is the highest in Africa, 10 times till now. Oh. So 11th time we are going in Feb again. Okay. Then we do Argentina's highest in South America, which is in Argentina called Aconcagua. So such mountains we keep doing, and later on we realize, there's not many people who are into big mountains. They want to do it, but then they don't have a roadmap how to do it. So what we do is we start training people from 3,000, 4,000 meters se climb karate hain. Then 6,000, 7,000 and then 8,000 in Everest we make them climb. So slowly we handhold them because there are a lot of people who want to do it. They don't know how to take the first step. So we are
so basically a bunch of people get together and you plan a summit for them and you go along with them, right?
Right. So we advertise on Instagram, websites. All those people who want to join, we see whether they are capable of doing Everest, because everybody wants to do Everest. Right. But unka capability build up karna hai. So we tell them ki, okay, let's do this. This is our expedition this time. If you want to join, might as well join. So either Bharat leads, I lead, or we have a team who lead, those kind of people.
फिर तो वो एक कारवां बनता जाता है जब लोग जुड़ते जाते हैं.
Very true.
Passionate people.
Yeah.
So, which is the next summit that you're planning, and people can still apply for that?
Yeah, so one which is starting very soon is next week, but then December we have two of them.
Yeah.
There's one in Uttarakhand, there's one in Himachal.
Okay.
January is only for experts because it's a 7,000, close to 7,000 meter night climb. So somebody should have done a 5,000, 6,000.
Yeah.
That's in Argentina again,
Okay.
the highest of the one. February we have Kilimanjaro. So every month we have multiple expeditions which
Okay.
keep running. So there's never a dearth of opportunities. Just
Right.
that intent has to be there.
Mountains are plenty.
Yeah.
So,
Huge mountains.
but again, this is expensive sports to,
Yeah.
matlab, passion to pursue. So, how did you plan out? Matlab, did Army earlier supported you, and how now?
See, for Everest, it was an army expedition.
So,
So
sponsored.
everything was from army. So that was there. And what we've realized, there are people who have realized that, if they're going out eating, it's again is expensive these days.
Yeah.
So if you can spend on something which is not helping your health,
Yeah.
after Corona, thank God people have realized that, health is a
It is
priority.
important. Yeah.
So that's why there are a lot of people and there's a lot of craze, especially in the younger generation, who want to spend on experiences
Yeah.
rather than, big houses and 5-star,
I
7-star
think
locations.
millennials and beyond now, they are thinking more above than roti kapda makan,
Absolutely.
Wi-Fi and all.
Yeah,
Now they want to spend on experience. So how I mean, what's the if you, let's say, if somebody wants to start with a 3,000 or 4,000 mountains, what kind of expenditure is involved, including the kit and all?
See, the lowest one doesn't require any specialized kit
Oh.
except your personal clothing and trekking shoes.
Okay.
Trekking shoes, a good one, cost between 3,000 to 6,000 in Decathlon.
वो तो normal आपके Adidas and all.
Adidas is 15,000,
and
That's
those
true.
sneakers and all वो
Yeah,
तो
yeah.
बहुत ही महंगे हैं.
So, those
So-
things are there. Trek cost starts from 10,000.
Okay.
And for Everest, it can go to, any extent. Like, we charge close to 30 to 35 lakhs for Everest.
Okay.
And there's no upper limit in the kind of luxury you want to provide.
And then there will be a cost of travel also. I mean, if you're going to South America or
Yeah, correct.
yeah.
So that again is there.
So it is expensive. You
Yeah,
have to plan ahead, and it's not easy. And
Obviously.
how is it to find sponsors?
That's again a challenge that depends upon, what you have to offer to the sponsors, because
Okay.
a sponsor is only going to help once they know
They
that
see
they're
value
going to-
in it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so that value you have to show.
Okay.
That what unique value you're going to give to the sponsors that they should sponsor you. Otherwise, there are government agencies, they do at times.
Okay.
Maybe some ministries, maybe, some project of government.
Okay.
And other thing, your personal connects. If you have connects at some companies and they think that, okay, they'll gain something from you, obviously they'll do it.
And these equipment manufacturers, do they take interest?
Again, what unique you are going to do. If you say, you're going to climb Everest. So there's so many people are doing.
Yeah.
What is your specialization that, and again, the equipment manufacturers, there's hardly in India.
Yeah.
Even if they're there, very small ones. And those guys, you cannot wear it on Everest because you need top of the line, the best.
Right.
So that's why, again, it boils down to, like, I have friends, they have been promoting companies who are into solar or, some water company or something like that. So you have to show it to them.
You have to find a way. I mean, you have to
Yes.
provide a unique proposition to them कि भाई मैं ये करूँगा तो आपको भी ये फायदा होगा. That's right. And but with that in place, being from a defense or army background, it does help, right? I mean,
Yeah.
वो start तो आपको वहाँ से मिल ही आता है. So all those people listening who want to do कि that would be a easier way if you
Absolutely.
if you
So
want.
a company would know that, if a defense guy is coming, so they mean what they're saying.
Yeah.
They have the capability and, that planning, preparation and leadership things which would make sure that, if they've committed to something, they would deliver.
That's right. I mean, you have mentioned it quite candidly. These qualities that we have, especially from defense, that leadership, team management, these are all transferable, in fact, in corporate environment. So you have been providing trainings or leadership classes to the corporates as well?
We've been taking them on treks.
Okay.
Like we
So
had a team of
outdoor
45.
activities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, people have realized that, there's been enough of lectures in the offices, 2-3 days of some joint exercises. So they've come for us for treks
Okay.
wherein you really push your body, like camps,
Yeah.
a point to point march, whatever training you do, but then the kind of experience you get in training, that kind of training is on a different level.
Right.
Like I remember a guy, he was again in his 30s, 100 meters below this, not even 100 meters, 50 meters below the summit, he was just sitting. And I went up to him, I said, why? तो he said कि सर आपको पता नहीं है, इकलौता लड़का हूं मैं घर का, कुछ हो गया तो क्या होगा? And I said, यार, have faith. Why would we let you do something like that? So he said, sir, I'll only go if you promise कि मेरा हाथ पकड़ के नीचे वापस लाओगे. मैंने कहा चलो. So once you overcome such things.
Yeah. And I'm sure that guy, if once he had done it, then he would be feeling more confident towards.
Exactly. And now he tells you everyone, such instances happened, and then the perspective about adventure and things changed.
That's right. I mean, this team building exercise, some people think कि भाई जो corporates say they take them to Corbett or anything. But if you take them to real adventure, that's where the real team bonding happens.
Yeah.
Like if you ask any army or a defense personnel, he will always remember each and every course mate.
Exactly.
Because when you go through hell together, you remember, you show, वहाँ पे आपके real self दिख जाता है कि कौन बंदा क्या है, अंदर तक आपको पता. Because when you are in such harsh conditions, and तब real self निकल के आता है.
Then you cannot fake it.
Yeah. Because you don't have that temperament at that point in time कि मैं अब fake करूँ, कि मैं दिखाऊँ कि मैं बहुत stylish हूँ, ये वो. जो आपका real self है वो नजर आ जाता है. And I think that's where these corporates are inclined towards having such activities now.
Yes. And that's what is desired, that difference between them. Like if you're sharing the same tent with your boss, eating the same kind of plates and eating together, those kind of things, same food, everything. Then the difference is not there. Then you are open to ideas, you're open to discussions.
That ego and everything vanishes once you are equal, really equal.
Very true.
जो हमारे आर्मी में हमेशा से होता है, मतलब एक ही लंगर का खाना सब खा रहे हैं.
Exactly.
एंड वहीं पे आप उसका सारी फैसिलिटी जो उनकी है वो आपकी, स्पेशली जो अपने पोस्ट वगैरह होते हैं वहाँ पे सब कुछ वही होता है. That's right. And so you're getting a lot of interest from corporates now, and since अभी reopening हो रही है, कैसा चल रहा है अभी?
See, first of all, we didn't stop at all during COVID as well.
Achha.
So we had back-to-back expeditions last 1 year.
They were allowed?
Yeah. Okay. Everywhere. So you need to have proper precautions. Yeah, like we did Africa in COVID. We did. I led a team to Russia. This is the highest in Europe, called Elbrus.
Okay.
So we had a team, and a team had 3 children. 9 class 9th, class 11th. इस टाइप के बच्चे भी थे. So people have been doing. Like one of our students, she's doing a TED talk next month in Bangalore. Okay. April में she did peak of COVID. She did April में Everest base camp. October में she went with us for Kilimanjaro. Okay. So COVID and all, people have suffered, no doubt. But then if you've been taking precautions, all the protocols are being followed, people have excelled as well.
Oh, right. That's right. I mean, वहाँ तो और I think it's a secluded mountains पे तो कोई है ही नहीं, और कोरोना कहाँ से आया?
Exactly.
That's right. I mean, it's a painful but yet memorable and life learning experience, I would say.
All those who are alive, they've been have that kind of wisdom that these things can also happen. So you need to build your immune system, your fitness, because otherwise you get attacked first. If there are 10 people, so the person who is going to have the most weak immune system is going to get affected. We know that.
And the effect is again
much more
than because a lot of people got COVID, but mostly which I have seen is they were already having some conditions or the other,
right,
which sort of turned into deadly pandemic.
Absolutely.
And people are now realizing कि भाई खाना, physical element, exercise, diet, everything is important.
Yes.
If you don't have health, then nothing will help you out.
True that.
That's right. And I also wanted to touch upon the things which people can basically learn from the lessons that you have learned from mountaineering and endurance sports, and which they can inculcate in their routine. कि अब जैसे आप एक आपका प्रोसेस होता है कि जैसे like you said कि I set small targets. So some people like उनके लिए उनका टारगेट एक पहाड़ की तरह है कि वहाँ
Right.
पे मुझे क्लाइंब करना है. So how do you I mean how do they plan basically? क्योंकि आपका जो अब तक जो आपने बताया that the main theme is planning कि आप पहले से आप prepared हो for any eventuality.
Yes.
And how do people, if they have such goals or tasks to be achieved, targets that they want to, what is the process that you would like to basically
See,
tell them?
I feel there are two things which are very important.
Right.
One is your attitude has to be right.
Okay.
Like, you can, for Everest, we planned for all the 400 contingencies we thought were there. But then life is not restricted to those 400 or
Right.
1000. No?
Yeah.
You plan for 100, 200 more will crop up.
Right.
So your attitude has to be right that, come what may, if things go wrong, how will I handle?
Okay.
There are few people who might panic. We had an instance wherein we were trapped in an avalanche on Siachen. We were training, avalanche aaya, so we could have had, that khatam ho gayi zindagi. But then that will to fight, that attitude ki, theek hai, problems to aayingi, but we'll have to face it.
Okay.
Not everything can be in a training environment.
Right.
So that is important. For us, it's easy because फौज में
हाँ, थोड़ा
हो जाता है.
experience होता है.
Because we've had through tough training,
Yeah.
tough times, so that helps.
Yeah.
But then for others, the second point comes, which is self-discipline.
Okay.
Army में क्या होता है, या for that matter, any defense forces. The only thing which is drilled inside you is discipline.
Discipline.
चाहे वो ड्रिल कराते रहे, चाहे कुछ कराते रहे, you don't have to find reason कि इसका क्या हुआ. Nobody will ask you reason.
मतलब आपको सुबह से शाम तक का पता है. You are planned ahead, you have a schedule, and you naturally अपने आप body फिर उसी वे में आपकी function adapt कर जाती है and you start.
Correct.
So aim should be to plan ahead, and even if any problems comes, your self-discipline is in place to tackle such problems.
Correct.
भाई इसका मुझे पता है कि ये हो सकता था और मैंने उसके लिए accordingly plan भी किया है, and I am adapted that way कि
Yes.
मेरे जो रूटीन है वो ये लोग सोचते हैं कि मैं ये अगर खाली 5 पुशअप से शुरू करूं तो उससे क्या फर्क पड़ जाएगा. बट अल्टीमेटली इफ यू डू इट थ्रू आउट द ईयर 5, 10, 15, 20 and
Correct.
then you can ultimately just by doing push-ups you can have a great fitness level.
Yeah.
So that is what you I think
Correct.
meant by
बिल्कुल.
that. That's right. And before we end, I wanted to ask how can people reach out to you, your company, for the if they are interested in this such expeditions and all.
See, these days social media is there. We are
Yeah.
there on Instagram, Facebook, a website.
Handle is
Boots and Crampons.
okay.
That's the Instagram handle.
Okay.
And then even if you just Google, you will find a lot of things. Other trekkers who have climbed with us, things they are achieving. So there's a lot of, and again a website is there, bootsandcrampons.com.
Okay.
So you reach out to us. We feel very proud and happy. Like there's this article which has come just today about this girl who climbed with us, and she has not mentioned about the company, which is okay. That is secondary.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
that couldn't, because the newspaper it becomes more of a tool for selling.
Yeah.
So that's why they don't mention. That's absolutely fine. Because the inner sense of accomplishment, once your students are able to achieve something, is much more than any monetary things.
So basically on social media, Instagram and all, you are
Facebook,
active in.
wherever.
So I'll put those links also. And what is the advice that you want to give me? Because ये नहीं कि आप जाके वहाँ पहुँच जाओ कि बस कि मैं को एवरेस्ट क्लाइम करना है. तो how do they plan ahead? What physical exercises and sort of preparation tips that you want to give?
Right. So first of all, whatever your target is there, you have to plan that way. You have to break the target into small sub-targets.
Yeah.
The roadmap, what we say. So if anybody wants to climb to us, first of all, we have a very tough screening process.
Okay.
We don't want to take any chances. Mountains, there are no second chances.
Obviously.
If things go right, maybe you'll be able to do it. But then if things go wrong, we have to prepare for that contingency.
Yeah.
So we have a tough screening process for all our treks and expeditions. So once you plan कि आपने next 1 year में, next 6 months में, you or your corporate or your some team wants to do something. So you get in touch with us. We'll tell you कि where you stand and how much time you should do for something like this.
So you help with the pre-screening process as well. ये नहीं कि
Absolutely.
मतलब आप पहुंचो और फिर आपको वापस कर दिया
नहीं.
So you are helping them with
Yeah,
that
we do
also.
that.
Okay. So it involves a element of exercises, diet
Yes.
and everything. Right.
we tell them, okay, if you are here, you want to be here, then these are the steps you need to follow to reach your destination. So we handhold everything for that.
That's right. So, what's next for you? I mean, you have done all this. So, you have done Everest, you have done Ultra, you've done Ironman.
Yeah.
Half Ironman also. What's next for you?
So, as I said, there's never an end to bucket list. There are a lot of things which are there. But first and foremost, we want to build upon this company because it gives us a lot of satisfaction once we see other people who want to do something. They're breaking their mental barriers, their own capabilities, thresholds. So that
is there.
That is obviously the target. And once we are leading such people to such places, we also get an opportunity to explore so many other mountains, so many climbs. So it's a win-win either ways.
Right. So basically, you love you are doing what you love.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like work then.
Obviously, I feel strange once people, do something which they don't love, because I think everybody's time is limited. So might as well utilize it in the things you want to do.
So life is too short. Don't waste your time doing something that you don't love.
Exactly.
And plan ahead. I'm sure anything and everything is possible if you plan really well. And there's no limit to it. Right, if you think your body cannot sustain these harsh conditions, speak to the experts. They will guide you and everything. And it feels, it would be amazing feeling letting all those people achieve their dreams.
Absolutely, 100%. That people who cry with us once reaching the summit, and once they reach the summit, it's a different feeling. Like, I'll give you an example. My course mate, his mother, 66. Last 3 years, she's been thinking in the sense, seriously planning of doing the Everest base camp.
Oh.
So this year, she came with us. In the debrief, she was crying, Col Romil, mera kab se itna plan tha. And we understand, for a woman, 66-year-old, COVID times, traveling Nepal, and then doing such a thing.
That's a
big achievement.
Age is always, it really proves that age is just a number. I mean, like, look at you. I mean, you started late. After, beyond 30, तो people अपना वो सोचने लगते हैं कि कैसा, अब घर वाले देखे और ये वो देखे. And how about your family? So they've been always supporting. बोल रहे, मैम बोलते हैं कि कौन से पहाड़ों पे जा रहे हैं, ऐसा कुछ.
No, that concern is obviously there. That goes without saying. But then, without support, obviously, nothing is possible. Right from my children, parents, wife. So they've been a great support. Though my parents say कि यार IIT के बाद तुम्हें यहीं आना था, पहाड़ी चढ़ने दे. But then that's in a different sense. That's the concern, love they have. But then they tremendous support, because once I'm away, it's the parents and the kids, looking after each other, which helps.
So I would just want to thank you so much for taking time out and coming on the Captain's podcast. And to the people listening, age is just a number. You have a live example in front of you. And if you want to give your best to something, then everything and anything is possible. Right, sir?
Thanks so much, Shashank. I agree whatever you said, that if you decide to do something, you are the only one who's limiting it. Otherwise, everything is possible.
That's right. Thank you, sir.
Thanks so much.